Just remember, you don't have to be so serious like you're hosting a high school journalism podcast. So welcome to the channel. It's been quite some time since I posted a last video. I've just been really busy. We have been, we haven't been doing anything. Our contractors have been working on the house. And so, believe it or not, that's taken up a lot of time and energy. And so anyhow, I am here tonight with my husband. This is Mr. Excel Finances, also known as Fran. So, he hates it when I call him that. I don't know. Do you hate it?
That's fine. I'm used to it now.
You're used to it now?
Yeah.
But when would you say that you became used to it?
The day I married you and I had to accept it.
Good answer. So tonight, or not tonight, because we've already read it, but we have been taking a look at Dave Ramsey's complete guide to money. And show right if you were so yeah so anyhow, if you've never read this book, it kind of goes over Dave's baby steps. And so chapter 1, at the end of each chapter there are some questions, and so we just figured that we would do a book club and invite others to join us. Now, we got our book at the thrift store some moons ago. But you can order the book on Amazon or through or through Ramsey Solutions website. But get the book if you want to join the book club.
We're not sponsored at all.
We're not sponsored at all unless Dave wants to, but I don't think he sponsors. But anyhow, if you don't want to do the book, that's fine. You can just kind of join in and answer some of the questions along with us at the end of the video. So yeah, okay. So at the end of chapter 1, key points are: saving must become a priority. You must save for an emergency fund, major purchases, and wealth building, and decide and agree with your spouse on what qualifies as an emergency. So we did just that. So the questions for reflection are: 1, what keeps you from saving? 2, why is baby step 1 the hardest for many people, and is it that way for you? 3, why do so many people use debt for emergencies? And 4, what does it mean to say that money is immoral, and how is money like a brick? And what would constitute a financial emergency for your household, and what would you do to cover such emergencies? So what keeps me from saving is feeling too comfortable about like being able to move my bills around. So for instance, I know, I have like another week or two until this is really due, or there's no payment penalty, I'll just move it. And so that was 1. 2, I'm really giving financially. So what I mean by that is, like, for instance, as an example, yesterday we were at a car show and one of his colleagues was like, hey, do they accept cards? And they didn't. They only accepted cash. I brought cash. So I didn't hesitate, bought his dinner, and I would still do it again today. That's just how I am. I never want anyone to go without. And I like to host. So normally when we host dinners or parties, I'm like, get this, that. Like, people don't even bring anything. Because we usually
we have a lot of moochers in our circle.
We don't have moochers. We just
if they're watching this, you're not moochers, but we have moochers.
we love to host. So anything different for you of why you can't save other than me taking your money?
I think it just enters like this whole getting comfortable with changing your perspective about how to manage money, how to use money when you don't have credit cards or you don't want to use credit cards.
Hey Google, stop.
So for me, it's just I never saved, never learned how to save. So this is all a new skill.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to get in the right mindset.
Absolutely. I think I couldn't agree with you more, because growing up, we didn't really talk about, I mean, like, other than my grandmother saying, like, oh, you got to save your coins, here's your little piggy bank. But, like, there was nothing like saving for bigger items, right? Like, you need to save for college, you need to save for your first house, you need to save for bigger items. It was always like, if you want this toy, save for the toy. But if it's like $20 and you could just spend the $20, buy it, you know?
Right.
So it didn't really force you or reinforce you to save for those life events. So
at least for me, growing up, I had a single mother, and we lived paycheck to paycheck. So my idea of how to manage money is, I got a paycheck coming in. So, you know, we'll tackle it then. We'll figure it out then.
Absolutely. Yes. So, why is baby step 1 the hardest for many people? So,
I think you should tell people what baby step 1 is.
Oh, yes. Baby step 1 is saving $1,000 for an emergency fund, unless you make less than $22,000. In that case, it's $500. And I don't know, for us, I don't think saving $1,000 was that hard.
No. I don't think so.
I think if it was like, say, $5,000, I think that would be harder for us, because that definitely would stretch our mindset, I think. But why is it so hard for people? I think it's because that's when you actually acknowledge that you need to change some habits, and that's when you know, if you're really living beyond your means, it's stripping everything down, and getting rid of, like, the coffee, getting rid of, you know, entertainment, subscriptions, getting rid of all that stuff to actually have the funds to be able to put down your $1,000. I would say that for us, we definitely out-earn our debt. What I mean by that is, we're like, we have debt, we'll just work harder. So we pick up extra shifts and we work ourselves to death. So that's what I meant by, like, it's not that big of a deal to save the $1,000, is because, well, that's, you know, I'll just work a couple more days to get there. But we'll get to that in a minute. So why do people use debt for emergencies? Why do you think people use debt?
I don't think people look at it necessarily as debt.
Yeah, I agree.
I think of debt as something I can't pay back.
Ooh.
You know, so I could pay my $150 a month towards a credit card. I could do that.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it.
I know, I'm smart as shit. Yeah, I get that a lot. They told me I was going to be something in high school.
You're going to be
if
broke.
I went, when I went.
You're going to be broke.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, for me, it's kind of like when you add up all of your debt repayments. Like, for us right now, I think it's $1,600 a month in our debt repayments. And just to think about what we could be doing with that $1,600 a month, instead, like, I don't know, like, through this journey since June, I've really changed my mindset. And I'm like, that $1,600 a month is paying for the life I've already lived. And so now I am trying to pay that off so I can actually use the $1,600 a month for living in the now, or living in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a mindset. But some of the reasons why I used the credit cards is because it felt like it just took too long to save for it. And so, like, right now, I really, 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 really want my built-ins for my new office. And I know it's going to cost like $2,000 to $3,000. And I'm like, well, if I put it on a credit card, and I'm like, no, can't do that.
Good.
I could, but the interest rate on it would be insane. I would end up paying like $5,000 for it.
I think something that you did mention the other day that kind of got me, I never really thought about it. Buying things on sale and putting it on a credit card.
Yeah.
You think you're saving money, but if you don't pay it back right away, then all those savings are gone.
Yeah, the savings is gone. And then on top of that, you're probably paying more than if you had to just went into the store and bought it.
Yeah.
Not being on sale. I think that's how Kohl's gets you.
I don't know. I don't do Kohl's.
Well, I do Kohl's. And so that's how Kohl's will get you. One, they always give you the Kohl's cash, so you come back into the store. But one, they like, for instance, a t-shirt is $35 inside the store, but then they're like, oh, it's on sale, 30% or 40% off. And you're like, oh, wow, this is a really good deal. I should go ahead and buy it. When in reality, that t-shirt is probably only worth about $8.
Yep.
So that's how they get it. That's how the consumerism is attract. So, and then I know Dave talks about money being amoral. And then have you ever heard him say that? Where like money is the root of all evil, but that's not really what it says. It says the love for money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So it says, how is money like a brick? Well, I know that if we were much more...
If I throw a stack of cash at you, it might hurt.
Yeah,
It might hurt.
I'd be willing to sacrifice myself for that. But like, I don't know, for me, it's kind of like if I had the money and like all the things that I would do, I know that I'm a giver, and I would love to be able to do more for my community or establish.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, the Bible talks about the money. We're given money by God to be stewards with it. So that means being a steward means you are essentially have to be responsible by giving to your church, giving to your community, to your neighbors, all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the last question is, how would you cover emergencies today? So what would constitute a financial emergency for your household, and how would you cover the emergency? So we came up with several different emergencies that could potentially hit our home.
And sort of are already kind of hitting our home.
Yeah, that's true. So, that's very true.
That's why I said it.
So the first one is housing expenses. Mm-hmm. So recently we had a major plumbing leak, and we had to come up with money to pay the plumber, and we didn't think that the insurance was gonna even cover a penny on that.
They didn't initially. They told us no, go kick rocks, but we fought.
Yep.
We did. We could, and we got some back.
Yeah. So how we covered that is we ended up taking on a loan, but in the flip side of that, I did take out enough to pay off my van. So we ended up getting rid of a van that was upside down. And so it ended up being a win in that situation.
So we were about $13,000 at least minimum of upside down on that van.
No.
Yeah, at least.
No, we got 20,000.
No, we were upside down on the van. So I think No. It was 6,000. I apologize.
It was 6,000.
It was 6,000. Sorry. We paid down.
Yes, it was 13,000.
13,000
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was $13,000 that we kind of like traded in the debt on.
She knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Just being rude.
So, how would we cover how are we going to safeguard our home against future expenses or repairs?
Well, we do have homeowners insurance.
Yes.
So that's going to help us.
Which our deductible is $2,500 right now.
Yes.
So we would need to at least bump up our emergency fund to $2,500 if we're planning on keeping it like that.
Yes.
Or
we have to, because it's super high right now.
Right. Or the other option was to decrease our deductible to $1,000, but pay like $50 more per month. So that's an option as well. Yeah. Also,
we have like home appliance insurance. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Well, it actually covers more than that. It's the home warranty.
Oh,
and so we paid $57 a month for that, which I got a call them this week about our microwave in our stove.
We don't have a microwave or stove. We have a stove, not
just
a microwave.
Just a stovetop. Yeah.
That sucks.
So would you say it's a good purchase?
What is a new microwave? Yes.
The home warranty.
It's a give and take.
Yeah.
Because we've had this in our last home. Right there.
Yes.
And they gave us a lot of shenanigans for our AC unit. Mm-hmm. We paid maybe, because each time they come out and repair, it's $100.
Yeah.
It was at least a minimum of $300 to $400.
Yeah.
keep coming back, change this part, which you think they would have done it, but the unit was so old, granted, and they didn't really know what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
So they had to keep coming out and kind of playing with it to see what they were able to do. So we did kind of get screwed over at the end. They didn't want to replace it, and it was actually cheaper for us to fix it or replace it ourselves cash than having them do it, because we would have ended up paying double for them to do everything.
Yeah.
Because they don't cover what's it called?
Freon.
They don't cover
Yeah,
Freon.
that's important to know, that if you have a homeowner's or home warranty policy, double check your contract, because many of them don't cover the Freon, and so they don't guarantee that if they, for instance, if they fix the part, but it doesn't work out and they need to add additional Freon, that's not covered. So that was the issue that we had, is that we ran the risk of the fix not working and we would have to pay for Freon twice.
Yes, which was about, for the one we had, because it was so old, they don't really make it anymore, it's about $3,500 each time.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it was crazy.
but keep in mind that I've seen different situations. Patrick's brother, his got replaced 100%.
Nice.
And then Patrick had a certain amount towards it,
Yeah.
and then we got screwed over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not a guarantee either way.
Yeah. We definitely, so our AC unit is the original unit that came with the house from the 60s. So it's going to go. It's going to go at some point. So,
Yes.
but our deductible for that is $100. So right now we're looking at, we need at least $2,600 in our emergency fund to cover the copays for those. Our deductibles, sorry. And then auto accidents was the second emergency that we could think of. And so right now we do have one car. My daughter does have a car right now, but she just started working. She actually is working 3 jobs. And so we wouldn't really be able to rely on her. But we do have full coverage car insurance. The deductible is $500. I'll have to check to see if I don't think we have a car rental on that anymore. So that's something to consider if we wanted to add on that, because I think that would add like $40 a month to just add on the potential to rent a car. So, but
And even
thankfully,
that, they have stipulations about what kind of car you can rent, how long you can rent it for, so
that's true. But
you got to read the fine print so you can make sure it's worth it.
yeah,
Only reason I'm saying that is because one of my coworkers recently had to rent a car, and they only covered a day.
oh my goodness.
They only covered a day, and she ended up, they kept the week at the dealership. Keep in mind, it's hard to find parts.
Yeah.
So the dealership told her, "Oh, we'll have it done in 2 days," and 2 weeks later.
We've been there before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, they came out and said, "Yeah, now it's fixed." But I mean, by the amount of gas, the miles they charge her, because she lives far, works far.
Yeah.
I think she ended up paying about $1,200 for those 2 weeks.
Wow.
So,
That's crazy. Well, thankfully you work pretty close, and then I work from home.
yeah, I was just show some legs on my way to work. Nothing
So there is Uber.
yes.
Or that, or hitchhiking.
Hitchhiking.
Yeah.
It's still relevant.
Yeah.
It's still safe. Still safe. Still safe. I done it. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then related to cars, said that really fast, auto repairs. So what we said is that if we had a car repair bill that was more than our emergency fund, that we would just have to hustle, move bills around, sell some things, work extra hours, that sort of thing to get it paid.
And keep in mind, I am very particular about the car we have now, because I feel like, given where we live, the lifestyle we live, it's very important for us to have a pickup truck. I'm not saying that we couldn't do it any other way, but I think it would make things harder when we want to, because we're so used to this convenience that we already have. So, we would definitely have to hustle to keep a truck around, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm always wrong when she's right. So.
And then loss of income. So we actually experienced this in January 1st.
Yeah.
So January 1st, he got injured and was
I'll show you my scar later. It's pretty dope.
He's selling knee pictures for $5, guys.
Add $2 extra, I'll show you a picture of my feet. If you're into that.
Too funny. So we actually experienced a loss of income first of the year.
Yes.
He got injured here on the property and ended up having to have surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And how long were you on, quote, light duty?
6 months. No, well, yeah, 6 months.
No, you were
I was out
but
for
then,
about 3.
Yeah.
And then I was on light duty for another 3 months.
Yeah. So we definitely took a hit in the income that was coming into the home during that time. And
keep in mind, we definitely didn't live with my basic income.
Right.
For the line of work that I do, I get shift differential, plenty of overtime.
Yeah.
So all of that was gone. So it's pretty much just base salary, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And then
And keep in mind, we carry insurance, we carry all of that under
Yeah.
my job. So checks are definitely tiny.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
And one thing we didn't do is we didn't slim back our lifestyle during that time. So we still continued on with trips and still continued on with our spending the way that it was, just because we had some very traumatic experiences around that time and wanted the kids to kind of lead out their normal lives.
Yes, it was a lot. There was a lot going on, definitely. I think our family definitely went through a lot. So, yeah, I think we did it just to try to keep everybody emotionally, you know, their emotions high as far as like being positive and being like, it's going to be okay. But, I mean, we did some financial things that we shouldn't have.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. We didn't lose our house.
No,
we didn't miss any payments or on anything. We just, unfortunately, we just increased our debt a little bit.
And we had some. Look at that. All right, guys, we're restarting now.
I don't ever do it like that.
Oh.
I just like restart it and then I just merge them together.
Oh, well, this is the restart. I don't even know. I lost train of thought like that.
Yeah. Well, his injury got us talking about what would we do if one of us was to pass. It gave us kind of an opportunity to kind of check in, do a pulse check-in, check up on our life insurance policies that we currently have and kind of make a plan. I think we even checked into like Social Security. Not that that's always guaranteed, but if something should happen this year, what would happen?
We'll just wait on Uncle Joe to tell us if we still have Social Security by the end of this term. Yeah.
So yeah, but so we actually talked about that. So what would we do if, say, for instance, if one of us was to pass? And what we had talked about is that we would definitely sell the truck. Mm-hmm. Right now we are not upside down in it, so hopefully we would get at least market value and break even. Mm-hmm. And then we would rent out our basement to another family.
Well, this is not really. Hold on, let's pause there. It's not just if one of us passes, but when we lose income.
Yes.
If I injured my leg again.
Right.
If it happened this year, realistically, I'll probably lose my job.
Yeah.
You know, it's within a calendar year. It's a whole thing. So that's a possibility. If if you get injured,
right?
You know, and she is the breadwinner of this family, so we would definitely take a hit. But we would definitely manage, of course. We always do. Yeah. Not because it's on our will, but God's will.
Amen.
So.
Yeah.
But everything is possible, and we just got to cut back. We just got to be realistic, you know. And I always try to remind myself, rice and beans is a complete protein.
That's right.
And Dave Ramsey's a big proponent of it. Rice
and
beans.
Yep.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the him throwing in ramen, but you know what? Bella, she will survive.
Yeah.
Our daughter.
Yeah. And then, medical emergencies, tying in with that. We actually talked about reaching out and checking into AFLAC because we've already experienced some short-term disability this year. We just kind of want to see if it would benefit our family to have short-term disability. if one of us should get injured. So we're going to be checking into that. Well, we did the price online with Aflac. I think it was like $39, but it didn't include any cancer care. Not certain if that is really needed, but I do know that sometimes when, people get cancer, they end up, years with treatments, and unfortunately you end up losing all your benefits and everything. And so it's very devastating when someone gets a diagnosis.
But I also think it's important to make sure you check in with your doctor on a regular basis. Make sure that you get lab work done, because on a regular basis, so you can try to catch it early.
That's true.
Catching it early will definitely start your treatment early and hopefully not have to stay on it for so long.
That's true.
Especially for Hispanic people. We hate doctors.
Yeah.
We go to our tias, we go to our grandmas, and they just tell us what we have.
Yeah.
It's a traditional witch doctor stuff.
Yeah.
Not even trying to be funny.
No, it
It's
is.
serious.
Yeah.
Hey, what's wrong? Oh, my chest hurts. Here, paper rub. It works.
Yeah, but also, what's been really plaguing me, and so right now I actually have a couple of notes all throughout my kitchen, is overeating affects your budget, and don't eat your vacation budget. And so it's, it kind of ties into that when I overeat or when I drink an extra cup of coffee, I'm not just taking away from my budget, but I'm also affecting my health, which increases my risk for health problems, which then increases my budget. So it all just kind of ties around the budget. Mm-hmm. Now that we've been kind of on this journey, I can't not think about how things relate to dollar signs. It's kind of like The Sims. You remember when we played not you, because I'm not saying you played The Sims. Did you ever play The Sims?
I played it when you downloaded it.
Okay.
And I was getting pissed off. I couldn't figure it out.
So when your Sims character, she goes over to the kitchen and you see the dollar signs, it's like cha-ching, 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 or when she burns up the kitchen, you got to buy a new stove, or she clogs the toilet and it costs money. Everything, it's like, I feel like I'm in the Sims simulation right now.
I restarted the game until I get a good job. I think the one we have saved on the Xbox, I think she's a rocket scientist.
Oh, that's an awesome job.
Yeah, I think the first one we had, we burned the house down.
Yeah.
I think she was like some stupid job, like a waitress or something. Can you edit that?
I was a waitress before.
Yeah, and look at you now. You're not. Just saying.
I'm gonna have to edit that.
You are. You definitely have. You definitely have to edit it.
I'm gonna have to pretend like you said curse words.
Yes. Ooh, add bleeps.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna have to
I'm just start mumbling things and just add bleeps.
Nah, that takes too much. I don't have that much skill.
Oh.
Okay. And then the last one is supply shortages.
Yes. War in Ukraine. That's still a big thing. The reason why? Ukraine has always been considered the breadbasket of the world. They provide the fertilizer, which we use all around the world. So, grocery prices.
Now I want bread.
You don't need it. So, if you look at prices within the last year, groceries have gone up 13%.
Yes.
13%. I think meats.
I feel it.
Meats and dairy. The meats have gone up almost 30%. So there's a huge, the prices are just going to keep going up.
Yeah.
Inflation right now, it's high as it's been in 40 years.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve is trying easily to put us back into, like 6 to 7%.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be here probably another 10 years with this inflation.
So I know that at the beginning of COVID, people were running out and they were buying toilet paper and buying water, and it was, crazy prices. And so just kind of talking about an emergency, with the cost of food so high, and I remember the grocery stores were out, people were just kind of paying whatever they had to get the bare minimum. So we're talking through on how we can kind of safeguard our financial situation here. And the first thing I thought of was growing my garden bigger. So right now it's kind of like a snacking garden, really not enough to be able to support a full family or to even to share. And that's really what I want, is to
unless
be able
you want
to...
tomatoes. We have plenty of tomatoes.
Yeah.
Plenty of tomatoes.
But I want to grow the garden bigger at least 4 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind, realistically, there's, I'm not even trying to, scare people or trying to cause panic or fear in people, but there's situations where people have taken loans to buy food.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
And a lot of it tends to be people from the West Coast. And the cost of living is high. Prices are really high right now, especially with like businesses keep on getting raided with peaceful protesters.
But not just loans. Like, think about how many people put groceries on their credit cards.
Yes.
Or diapers on their credit cards.
That's another way to think about it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a loan.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But when I said loan,
that's
I mean
29%.
Yes, that's high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, try to grow a garden if you can. Start off small, learn the trade. Like, we definitely are not perfect at all.
This was our first year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buy extra cans of whatever you like.
Yes.
Just one or two at a time. It doesn't have to be a whole supply thing. I promise you, if you do that, you're gonna be ahead of half your neighbors, realistically, because they're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have this mindset that we're in America, so everything's always gonna be good. But I mean, there's been periods where Great Depression, World War II, shortages.
Yeah.
The 70s.
Yeah. So we're planning on taking at least $10 from our food budget and buying canned goods for at least the next couple months.
Yeah.
So.
It's just a good practice to have.
Yeah.
I think.
We are looking to, so in the spring through 4-H, we do broiler chickens. And so we are looking at doing at least 50 to 60 chickens in the spring. And then we are adding, hopefully we're going to add some pigs to our homestead.
So I found a place, so we live in Southern Maryland. And luckily we have a pretty decent sized Amish community. So the Amish community here, they'll butcher everything for you. You can buy baby pigs, baby chicks, baby whatever, and raise them and bring them back to them. They'll chop it up for you and do everything for you. So that's our plan.
Yeah.
And if we don't want to go to the Amish, we have local butchers who would definitely provide that service for us.
Yeah. So, anything else?
No.
Yeah. I think that pretty much covered all of the emergencies that we could think of and how we're going to strategize, because we know that emergencies do happen. And so it just kind of puts us in a position where we can be ahead of the game the next time we experience an emergency, in addition to having that emergency fund. So, yeah. All right. So next week we will be covering chapter 2 of Dave's book. And again, you don't have to purchase the book. You can just kind of follow along with the questions that we're doing. And if you have any other strategies, or if you can think of any other emergencies that have plagued you and your family, or that you could think of, drop it down in the comments, subscribe, and join us next week. Nice to have you.